She's 24 years old, boots always coated in Nebraska mud, carrying a level of debt that would scare off most people twice her age. To millions online, Laura Wilson looks like the dream, a young farmer building a life from the ground up, turning simple videos into a massive following. But behind those golden fields and perfect sunsets, something else has been growing. Rumors. Loud ones. Dark ones. And the question is, how much of it is actually true? Because the internet doesn't stay quiet when it senses drama. It feeds on it. And over the past couple of years, Laura Farms has become a magnet for speculation. People started whispering about financial trouble, about a worker who walked out mid-season. And then came the biggest rumor of all, the one that spread like wildfire in early 2025. Was her marriage falling apart? But here's the thing. Rumors don't need proof. They just need attention. And Laura has a lot of that. The speculation didn't come from nowhere, though. People began pointing at small details. A missing wedding ring in a clip. Her husband Grant not showing up in certain videos. A different energy in her tone. Suddenly, strangers were acting like detectives, piecing together a story from seconds of footage. But was any of it real, or just imagination running wild? It got worse. Fake accounts started popping up, pretending to be Laura. Messaging fans. Claiming she had gone through a breakup. Asking for support. It looked real enough to fool people, and it spread fast. But think about that for a second. If the story were true, why would it need fake accounts to push it? Then came the financial rumors. People saying she was drowning in debt. That the farm wasn't sustainable. That the videos were the only thing keeping everything afloat. And here's where things get interesting. Because this part isn't entirely fiction. Farming at her scale isn't cheap. Land, equipment, fuel, repairs, it all adds up fast. So yes, there's pressure. Real pressure. But is it as bad as people think? To understand that, you have to go back to where it all started. April 2020. The world shuts down. Most people are stuck at home, scrolling endlessly. And a 19-year-old Laura picks up a phone and starts filming herself farming. No big plan. No production team. Just her, the land, and a camera. Sounds simple, right? But what happened next changed everything.
Her videos exploded.
Views climbed into the millions. What started on a basic iPhone turned into one of the most watched farming channels online. But behind that success was a reality most viewers didn't see. Farming isn't just planting and harvesting. It's risk. Constant risk. One bad season can undo everything. So the question becomes, how much risk can one person carry? Laura built her operation from scratch. Renting land. Financing equipment. Taking on debt most people would never touch. Even with income from YouTube and sponsorships, a huge chunk of that money goes right back into the farm. It's a cycle. Earn, invest, hope the next season works out. But what happens when it doesn't? She married Grant in the same year everything started. They became partners in every sense. Life, business, risk. Every decision tied them closer together. That kind of pressure can strengthen a relationship, or break it. So when people started questioning their marriage, it wasn't entirely out of thin air. But was it accurate? Before answering that, you need to understand where she comes from. Laura wasn't just someone who randomly chose farming. She was born into it. Generations of farmers before her. A legacy built over a century. But here's the twist, she didn't have to do this. She chose it. She studied business. She had other options. So why step into something this unpredictable? Because she approached farming like a startup. A calculated risk. She planned it. Built it. Grew it piece by piece. And for a while, it worked. Until everything started hitting at once. And that's when things really got tough. First, the worker walkout. Right in the middle of a demanding season, someone she relied on just quit. No warning. Suddenly, The workload doubled overnight. It became chaos. Long days turned into even longer ones. But how do you keep going when you're already stretched thin? Then came the insurance nightmare. After real crop damage, she filed a claim expecting support. Instead, she found herself fighting to be fairly compensated. Back and forth. Frustration building. And she didn't hide it. She shared it all. Which made people ask, how many other farmers are going through the same thing? And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, a bridge on her property collapsed. Literally. Cutting off access to parts of her land. During harvest season. Every delay costing time, money, and energy. It sounds unreal, but it happened. So how do you recover from something like that? Then came the snow. Harvesting in freezing conditions. Lower crop quality. Lower prices. And thinner margins. By this point, it wasn't just one problem. It was everything, all at once. So when people online said she looked exhausted, they weren't wrong. But does exhaustion mean everything is falling apart? That brings us back to the biggest rumor of all. The marriage. The internet was convinced something was wrong. But here's the reality. There was no confirmation.
No statements.
Just assumptions. And when Laura finally addressed it, the truth was simple. The rumors weren't real. She and Grant were still together. Still working. Still pushing forward. So why did people believe otherwise so easily? Because when you share your life online, people feel like they know you. And when something looks even slightly off, they fill in the gaps themselves. But that doesn't make it true. What is true, though, is the pressure, the stress, the reality of running a farm and a business at the same time. And that part, you can't fake. Laura didn't deny the hard things. She confirmed them. The worker leaving. The insurance issues. The financial challenges. The brutal seasons. She put it all out there. Not as drama, but as reality. And maybe that's what makes her story different. She's not pretending it's easy. But then the question becomes, why keep going? Because for her, this isn't just content. It's her life. Her livelihood. Her legacy. And even in the middle of everything going wrong, she showed something else. When another farming family needed help, she stepped in. Organized support. Brought people together. Even while dealing with her own struggles. So what does that say about her? At 24, she's carrying more responsibility than most people ever will. Debt, decisions, pressure, all of it. And yet, she's still there. Still farming. Still filming. Still showing up. Not because it's easy, but because she chose it. And maybe that's the real story here. So were the rumors true? Some of them had pieces of reality. Most of them didn't. But the truth is more complicated than any headline. It's not a perfect success story. It's not a total collapse either. It's something in between. And maybe that's what makes it so hard to look away.